Today is very interesting, and we're back. Okay, so we are back, and we wanted to answer this question from one of our subscribers, Nope Nope Y for 4G. On our video that we posted last, I'm coming out of my spiritual closet. There was a question that was left on this video, and I wanted to respond it with a video and not just a comment. I usually respond just a comment, but I think this warranted a video because I'm actually having this conversation with someone else, and I'm walking through it with that person. And so the question is, I have been going through so much over the last 4 years. The last year, I have been paying attention to all the signs and synchronicities: 111, 222, 333, 444, 555, 1010, 1111, 1212, 123, and 1234 are the ones I see consistently. Can you give me advice on where and how I can develop a better understanding of what I'm going through? Great question. So I thought that this question warranted a video because it is a process that I have been going through, and I keep adding things to it as I mature, evolve, and my pursuit of what's going on, right? And as we grow, our understanding to different things just, again, it evolves. So in the beginning, one of the things that I did, and I mentioned in the video, is that I would hear and see the 111 often, the 1010. In the very beginning, I would see 1111, 111, 111 everywhere that I went. And then it started to open up the 222s and the 333s. In the last 2 years, I have moved to the 123 and the 1234. And I just want to pause there because the 111 for me was the beginning of synchronicities. And it's this awareness and opening up where you'll say, wait a minute, why do I keep seeing that number? And then it's this question that you ask yourself, like, wait, something's going on because I'm seeing this often. Now, the person that I'm walking with right now, they see their birthday first. They see their birthday often. And so that's the conversation that they would have with me. And they said, I see this often. And I believe you get in conversations, and it's the awareness that this is happening. And now that this person is talking to me, they said, wait a minute, something's happening here. And then opening up happens. And when that opening up happens, the new numbers start to come. I believe as your awareness opens and you start to pay attention, like, hey, someone's out here helping me. The universe is helping me. Your Gus, your God, your universe, your source. Something's happening to me. And once I always say, with marriage, you have to steward it, right? Anything that you receive, you steward it. If you look over it and make sure you take care of it, more things come to you. So you have to steward your numbers. Yes. Okay. So now, over the past week, more numbers have been coming to her. And she called me and she says, hey, I'm starting to see this number. I think this has to do with my career. And then I was like, okay, write it down. So my first suggestion is make sure that you get a notebook, right? You go to Five Below. This is a beautiful book. And this is not for my synchronicities. I have a whole row of books behind me that I use for my synchronicities and such. And I use books, and I use my phone. And I use my phone because I make a text message to myself. And so when I hear, because I hear, I see, I smell, right? I have all of these wonderful gifts. I put them in a text message. That's the way that I can get them down and the date really, really quickly. And then I could go put them in a notebook later. That's my process. So for sure, get a notebook, because when these things are happening, you want to date them and you want to say, okay, like I said, I can go back to 2011 and get that book and say, I was starting to see 111 a whole lot. Now I know when I was here, when I moved, it was 1234. I started seeing and 123, and I knew immediately that makes sense. 123, things are lining up. So the next thing I would do is I would get yourself one of these books, right? I'm going to show you two of them. First, this was my first book. So I was able to handle the one book. And this is the Angel Numbers book. And what it does is it breaks down the numbers by every number. So let's just go to 123, because that was one of the numbers that you mentioned. And one of the things that I want to say is to see if it resonates with you. So I actually have a little star by 123 because, as I mentioned, I was seeing 123 and 1234. So 123, it says stepping stones. You are on your way. You're on a distinct path and are well on your way to your goals. Little things matter. Pay attention to the details, as each choice you you make presents a small part of the big picture. Visualize a path in front of you leading you to your heart's desire. Really small paragraph, but this was able to help me with just 123. I just pulled this out because I'm starting to see a different number, and I'll do a different video about that number in a different video. So I would grab this book, and this book is available on at Five Below. Now, what happened next? I was in the car going, taking a Lyft ride, and this book showed up with my Lyft driver, right? Five Below. And this is called The Power of Numbers. So it's The Power of Numbers. It's by Jessica Allen, and that first book is by Mystic Michaela. And in this book, it gives you the numbers, but it gives you some heavier things like career, ambition, life advice. It tells you, it helps you even break down your name with the numbers. Like, numbers are so significant. And if you don't believe it, do a deep dive into my next resource and you will open up the door. So, like, there's a number 3 and there's a life number. So it says the life number for number 3 is an entertainer. If you're 4, you're an organizer. And I am actually a 9. I'm holding a microphone at the same time. And I believe number 9 is the activist or humanitarian. So it gives you double digits. This book is jam-packed with angel number 000111222, and it gives you paragraphs, right? Paragraphs. So it gives you just a deeper meaning. Everything is here. The 444, 5, 6s, everything. It goes up to, here's 1234. So you got to grab this book. It even goes up to, the number, I didn't even know this number was here, 8765. That's interesting. So this is a great resource. And my third resource for you, you can also go on Amazon. I should say fourth resource, because those are 2 that you can get from Five Below. And I believe for me, I'm in Five Below often. Five Below has a plethora of great books and resources that are inexpensive and that can help you build your library to understand all of the great gifts and assistance that you are receiving from the universe. And lastly, what I do, for instance, yesterday, this praying mantis was sitting on our car after we came back from a little ride, and I thought it was so super cool. And what I do in those instances, even when I see numbers, is I go on YouTube and I look at like shorts, because there's always shorts for a certain number, and then just take it in and you'll feel what resonates with you. Like, oh, that makes sense. I feel like that's what's happening with me, because everybody has a different thing going on, different perception. They may break it down from a book themselves. They may break it down from their experience. That's, really detailed and evaluating the process and what you're going through. I can say right now, for the number that I'm seeing often right now, I am actually taking it in and then processing it at the same time. So I'll be able to give you a lengthier meaning of that video and what was going on with me at the time I was getting that number. So I hope this helps you. Kind of long, but there's 4 resources that you can go to Five Below. You can get these 2 books if they're there. Go to Amazon and see what you can find. And then YouTube always has videos. So thank you so much for asking this question. I think it was super cool, and I hope that it can help you and help whoever else is on this journey of hearing from and walking through all of these magical moments. And I used to didn't use that word magical, such a thing. But it's an adventure. Every time you turn around, it's like, oh, there's a different number. And you wake up at night, you look at your clock. There's all kind of fun things that are happening. And God is just walking with us and helping us each step of the way. Take care. Be blessed.